Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. It is my favorite time of the week to be able to Zoom with all of you, share my heart, share best practices. Not only that, have some of you share your best practices as we're talking and chatting. This is the week of Thanksgiving. This month has been really difficult for me as far as commitment, but that's fine. I'm not giving up. I am definitely really excited to help some ladies get started on their fitness journey. I am so disciplined and encouraged to keep on going, even though I've seen some obstacles my way. We have Rise and Fit. They are shooting for 5-star elite qual. They have one more day to get that locked in, and they are 2 coaches. I want to say 0 coaches away from it. It is very close call that they're going to be qualifying by Wednesday night tomorrow, meaning they have to hold that for 5 more weeks, and they're going to be a 5-star elite team, possibly even more than 5-star, which is huge. And Kim Meyer's the leader on that, and her team is just really crushing it. So shout out to you guys. I've been noticing just a lot of action taking. Morgan Schaefer is someone who's been really implementing action on our team. Lauren Lundberg has been doing a lot as well with canned responses and Instagram. It's been really, really cool to watch Sarah Scott and Brittany Burmeister. So Sarah's lost 25 pounds and Brittany has lost 21 pounds and 31 inches, you guys, which has been super cool and amazing to watch. Lizzie Parker, I just said, well, that is not Lizzie Parker. Lizzie Turner, you've been having some bomb posts lately too. Ashley Pickett, and been noticing you, sister Andrea. Man, your posts have been speaking to me. It's been really, really cool to see that. It's been cool to watch Sarah Freed, not that she has an injury, but it's really cool to see her perspective through her injury. She is a big advocate for how you stay healthy when you are injured. She said she's going to try to stay away from the fall each and every single year because she had an injury last fall with her back, and this time it's with her neck. But she is someone who's a huge person to follow when injured because she just shows up. And she also doesn't let those things defeat her. She shares her nutrition, her mindset, and all of those things. So I think that's really huge to be able to identify that. Nikki Touch, man, sister, I feel like she sent me a text the other day and she just said, hey, I'm thinking about you. And I just want you to know, like, you're on my heart, all this stuff. Like, she's just so intentional and sweet, and I really appreciated it. Morgan Brill, sister, sharing your pregnancy announcement, finally. I'm sure that felt good to do, and I'm just really excited to watch your journey through this. I'm excited to watch you share how to be fit and pregnant, so make sure you guys are watching her through that journey. I'm just so excited. Finally, it's like, oh my gosh. So tonight we're going to be talking about part-time coaching. How many of you are so excited about this? Me, I'm so excited because I built my entire business part-time and I never thought of it like that. I never thought to not just market part-time, but hustle part-time. But the thing about this part-time thing is you have to have full-time belief. Like, there are times where you might have to make sacrifices doing this part-time. For me, that sacrifice was Sunday football. That was the only time I could really give more than an hour in my business, was that Sunday. And I was willing to make that sacrifice. Yesterday, a friend invited me to go somewhere and I said, I can't, I'm going for a big goal right now and I just can't go with you. I still make sacrifices to this day when it comes to my business. And I'm going to walk you through some strategies and walk you through a game plan on how to not just market this part-time, but to own it part-time. But something before I want to start is I met up with a friend, someone I've been working out with. She did Clean Week. Laura, I hope you're watching this. I told her to go watch our YouTube. And she texted me and she said, I need you to come over. I want to talk to you about coaching. And again, I talked to her about my love for coaching, but I've never been like, hey, Laura, I think you should do this. It just wasn't the right time. Like, she's my friend. Like, you know what I mean? And it never really segued into that, but I just talk about my belief in this. So anyway, we went over and I said, what's up? Like, are you asking about my goal? Like, what is it about coaching? And she said, I keep seeing that picture of, she didn't say Zoom, of your team. I keep seeing that picture of your team. And it's this, you guys, when I take a screenshot of this, that was the thing she realized that she wanted to be a part of this. And I said, oh, you mean Zoom? Yeah, we hang out every Tuesday, sometimes on Saturdays and Sundays. We're doing that. And she's like, I crave community. Then it hit me and rocked me in so many ways. And I said, that's why I joined this. I was sitting on a couch and I was listening to a Rock the Basics, now business, Zoom, listening to the conversations that people were having. It was amazing. That is why I became a coach, you guys. It wasn't the money, it wasn't the time. I didn't have time. I became a coach because of this community. Make sure that you're talking about the community. I'm telling you, those pictures I post of our Zoom don't get a whole lot of likes, but they're getting a whole lot of observations. Where do you see this on social media? Where do you see a group like this hanging out on social media? You don't. I'm a part of a lot of Facebook groups that suck. I'm part of a lot of miscarriage groups, and oh my gosh, it's the worst place ever. Like, the people are so flipping negative, and I was like, man, I'm so used to an uplifting community. I was telling Laura, I was like, Laura, you're not going to find that in Team Happy and Fit. You're not going to find negativity. Like, you are going to find a whole bunch of people that are just praising each other, uplifting each other, pushing each other, and just supporting each other, welcoming each other, laughing with each other, connecting with each other. You're going to see that. In these other groups that I'm a part of, they're so negative. Like in my miscarriage group, people are like, oh, I hate my best friend because she's pregnant. Like, she's the worst. Doesn't she know? And I was like, dude, get over yourself. Like, you need to heal, but you can't be mad at your friend because she's moving on with her life. Like, that's just kind of my perspective of it. You guys been through it. Like, I understand the feelings of it, but like, man, gotta shape your perspective. I talk about my church a lot, but not in the sense to push it on you, but in the sense of like, my church is a church plant, and Pastor Andy is an entrepreneur. I go to his leadership life groups every other Thursday, and he's read every book that we've read. Like, he knows personal development. He knows how to run a business and an organization. And his sermon this last weekend was on rebranding your reputation. And he had said, if you want to make a difference, you must be willing to be misunderstood. He said, you're not going to please everybody. He said, people will come up to me after my sermons and be like, I liked 97% of what you said. And he's like, okay. And then he straight up said, he's like, guys, I'm not trying to convince you or please everybody in this building. I'm trying to help the person who walks in here suicidal. That's the only person that I'm talking to today. I'm talking to the person who's never heard about this before. I'm not talking to everybody. I'm just talking to that one person. And then it hit me where I was like, that's totally what we do on social media. And maybe sometimes you're not looking at that. Like, maybe you're looking for validation of like, I need this many likes, this many comments. And maybe you are so blindsided by other people's success that you stop to forget about what your mission is. Like, you're so fixated on is if your picture's right, your content's perfect, all this stuff. I'm not getting a lot of traction, and you kind of make it about yourself. And then when you start to realize, man, when I can really tailor this to that one person who just needs to hear this, that's when you start to get a little bit deeper and a little bit more raw in your posts, that you are there. And I used to always do that. And I feel like these last few weeks, I haven't been getting there like that because I've been so fixated on my goal and the obstacles in front of my goal that I've been forgetting to connect genuinely with people who just need to hear me, right? That one person. And he said also, your biggest sacrifices will make the greatest difference. Whoa, that's so crazy. Because I feel like this is a business, you guys, after all, that those sacrifices that you make are going to add up over time. And I think a lot of times, people are overwhelmed by change, overwhelmed by all these things. But when you can start to sacrifice maybe TV time to just really put time into your business, it's going to make all the difference. And then he said, you know what you'll be known for what you value. He's like, do you value more of sports? Do you value more of shopping? Do you value what kind of car do you have? Or do you value people? Like, do you value the difference you're making? Like, what's your value? What are you about? Do you guys know like people who are so about things? Like having the fanciest things, having this kind of brand, like doing all this kind of stuff. And like, okay, but like, what's more to that, right? What is it that you value? Do you value health? Do you value happiness? Do you value your family? Do you value time? Do you value giving back? What is it that you stand for? And when you start to sacrifice for that, man, it makes all the difference for sure. A book that I'm reading on Saturdays, I always do a Saturday lesson. This last lesson was really good for our team, and it has so much to do with this book. It's called The Obstacle is the Way. How many of you guys get frustrated, you freak out, paralyzed, all these types of things when you see an obstacle in your way? I do. Like, I'm like, the thing when I feel overwhelmed is I do nothing. Like if I feel so far from my goal, I just am like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. And I start freaking out about it. This book hands down walks you through how to not do that when an obstacle's in your way. Like it is all about reframing your perspective when there is a challenge in your way. Like being like, okay, this isn't going to kill me. Like saying that when you have an obstacle and then you're like, huh, not so bad. And then you just find action along with it. So that book has been changing my life. I wanted to share that. Okay, let's start getting into part-time coaching. I want to talk about, before we get into part-time coaching, what that actually looks like. One, a coach's number one job is self-care. That's it. Like that is your number one job as a coach. Like if you're not doing self-care, you're going to fail. You're going to fail everybody else. When I'm off my game, I have to have a serious gut check with myself. Like I was like, do you know your workout schedule for the week? Or are you winging your workouts? Meaning, like, are you following a program? I'm waiting for 80-day obsession, so I'm honestly winging it. And it causes an unnecessary stress in my life without realizing it. Because when I'm following a program, I'm sharing on social media, day one, day this, like day that, right? And I like share like the journey of that workout. So that's in a small way where I'm a little bit off my game. I'm like, dang, it makes such a bigger impact on my self-care, right? And my mentality, nutrition, personal development, all these things where I have to have a serious gut check with myself. You as a coach, whether you're part-time, full-time, half-time, like whatever, half-time and part-time are the same thing, but you get what I'm saying. It requires you to become a better person. You are going to make an impact in whatever you value through coaching. It all starts with you and your choices. So I see some coaches who are all about the money and they're inactive, but they're still helping people with challenge packs. Guess what? They're still not around. Like they're not around. Like they make it work for like 2 months where they're making money and literally aren't working on themselves. That's going to fizzle out. I always see it every time. Or coaches that are just so fixated on Success Club that they like forget to work on themselves. Like it starts with you. And then once you're rocking yourself, that's when you're going to really help other people. That's the coolest thing about this business. The coolest thing about it is that your job starts when someone buys something from you. But the cool thing is it's not like you're like pushing things on people. Someone's like, who said this to me? I want to say it's Sarah Scott. I'm not sure if it was. But she's like, this is just crazy that like, this is about selling our life. And I said, it's not even so much selling our life, it's showing our life. Like if you can show your life, that is your business. And that's what helps other people. How cool is that? So when you kind of reframe your perspective on it, it starts to become like, aha. Now when it comes to this part-time thing, I'll definitely give you tips and ideas on how to rock this part-time. You guys, honestly, part-time, I truly believe you can kill this business by simply working out each day and eating clean and doing your personal development and sharing one post on social media that's quality. Truthfully, then you can connect with those people maybe the next day where you'll go message them real quickly on voice message. That'll take 5 minutes. Like there's ways to work this business in pockets that will be super beneficial for you long run. But again, it all comes back to you effectively sharing your story. So something I want you to think about when it comes to part-time. Now I'll teach you how to rock your business part-time, but that's not really what I'm concerned with here. What I'm concerned with is how are you showing people that they can do this? So for example, when I was talking to my friend Laura, I asked her this. I said, how long do you think it takes me to do my coaching job? Like, what do you think when someone's like, oh, I don't have time? So I want to talk about objections. So my number one objection for people is time. It's not money. Like my avatar, it's time. How many of you agree with this? Do you get the objection of time? So a good thing to ask them is, well, how long do you think this takes? Because in their brain, they're just seeing you on social media all over the place, but they're not realizing that maybe you've scheduled those posts. Maybe they're not realizing that you planned those posts out, or even when you go live, that takes 5 minutes, right? So when you kind of throw it back into them, like, well, how long do you think this takes? And they'll be like 5 hours. And you'll be like, 5 hours? No. And Sarah Morrison talked about this on the Team Fit and Free call last week, and it really, like, we had heard this part-time coaching presentation, and she had said that, and I was like, that's such a good thing to ask. Well, how long do you think this takes? 5 hours? It actually doesn't. I don't have 5 hours to put into this business. I have about 1, and 30 minutes of that is my workout, right? You have a way of handling these objections through your social media. When you give challengers shout outs and you do transformation Tuesdays of challengers, wouldn't it be cool to say, man, this busy nurse, mom of 3, is doing her whole self-care journey part-time? What if you threw that into your social media post? What if you started talking and owning this part-time thing? I think these people on social media are like, be your own boss, like the financial freedom, like also, what if you built that part-time on an hour a day and you really rock that through social media? Or how about a new coach? So Sarah Scott just hit SC6. She's a 2 out of 3 months success starter. And she is about to have 4 coaches in her total downline of PS coaches. Pretty amazing, right? I think she completely should have marketed that she's doing this part-time, that she's helping other people do this part-time, that if I were to be like, man, like shout out to Morgan Brill. This is a, full-time cat mom, full-time wife, full-time nurse educator, part-time coach, building a freaking solid business, helping other people like rock their self-care. So what if not only did you handle objections of part-time and like time, you started marketing your social media of part-time, of man, I love that my workout is less than what your show is on Netflix. Like that's a big thing that's going on in my head right now because my avatar doesn't have time. She's a busy, overworked, underpaid teacher, but all she looks forward to at night is Netflix. She has time. She just doesn't want to think and she feels exhausted, but she doesn't realize that Netflix is just going to continue to make her exhausted. She just doesn't know. I didn't know. I had to teach myself that I could do an effective 22-minute workout in my classroom right after school because I knew it'd be game over if I got home. I wouldn't want to press play. So I had to teach myself that I could make this work. And then you know what started to happen? I started to gain more energy. I started watching less TV. I started being more present with Eric. We started cooking together. I started noticing I was sleeping better. Like all these other areas of my life were starting to get better, all because I was doing this with minimal time. Are you rocking the fact that you're doing this minimal time? Are you rocking that you're like, man, I love that my coaching business, like this business that I'm starting to really like build out of integrity and love, that it really doesn't take me that much time during the day because all coaching is self-care, right? Like that's what you're teaching your challengers. Your challengers aren't spending 5 hours on social media rocking their self-care, are they? They're just doing a 30-minute workout and checking in with you. Freaking cool, dude. Like start sharing that on social media for the part-time. I'm going to walk you through a couple trackers that I want you to do for the logistics of actually working a part-time business. But really, you guys, this all is about belief. Like, do you believe you can build a solid business part-time? Now, when I started this, I was a teacher. I didn't have a lot of time. And I would sacrifice my like TV time. I would sacrifice maybe going out with friends on a Friday night because that wasn't aligning with my values anymore. I started to sacrifice, say no, say yes to certain things. But I started to have so much fun with coaching. But the thing with coaching is I saw it long term. I saw that this was the bridge to freedom, but I knew it would take time getting there. Like I think so many people have this short attention span of wanting things quickly. Like that is totally like, how many of you guys get frustrated by traffic, right? Like I have to be there now. My friend Brittany McMillan told me a story. She's like, yeah, like anytime there's a lot of traffic, I just am like, you know what? Go ahead and go in front of me. I don't have to rush to be somewhere. And I was like, that's such a cool mindset because I think a lot of people are like, oh, like this is taking forever, like all this kind of stuff. You guys, coaching is a delay result business. Morgan Brill is about to be, and actually Sarah Freed, they're about to be Success Club All-Star Legends. What that means is that they've hit Success Club. They're about to hit Success Club for 24 months in a row. That takes time. But if you notice, Sarah and Morgan have insane PV on our leaderboards each and every single month. Like, it's always high. And the reason it's always high is because they're always getting new blood into their business. But if you were to ask those two, they have had trials in their business. They've had things happen in their life. However, they knew that the key to this whole part-time thing was, I need to hit Success Club every single month. But what's even cooler about that is that if you were to go ask them and be like, why is Success Club important to you? They can just drill it out to you. They would say, well, one, I know that Success Club is the key ingredient to building longevity in my business. Two, I really care about helping people. Like, I'm willing to put myself out there. I'm willing to share my story. I'm willing to be rejected. I would love to hear how many rejections Morgan and Sarah have ever gotten in their whole time of coaching. I would love to hear the number. They probably couldn't even tell you how many objections, rejections, all that kind of stuff. But even so, they still show up because they know that SC is the foundation to building longevity in their business. Now, when you were to look at their business now, that they do make an income in Beachbody. It's not a secret. Beachbody does not guarantee any kind of income. We're not going to be the kind of wad cash and hold it up, join me, you get a $500 bonus. We ain't like those other people, right? Like, this is hard work. Like, you got to actually do the hard work too with your transformation. But the thing with them though, you guys, is that they have a vision. I had a coach tell me, she's like, you know, my team completely retreated on me when I told them my big goal this year. That's what she said to me. I called her and I said, you got to listen here. I said, they didn't retreat because you shared your big goal with them, because your big goal is going to elevate their businesses. They quit on themselves because they didn't see their vision. Like, they didn't quit because you elevated their thinking and their visions with this. They stopped seeing the bigger picture. So if you want to do this part-time and maybe full-time one day, and you guys, honestly, I'm not spending 15-hour days on my business. There are days I will put in that amount of time when I need to, like with being at SC0. I'm at SC0 right now. I'm not feeling good ever. It's not feeling good. Not giving up. I'm going to fight till the very end. I've hit it for 41 or 42 months in a row. It's not going down with 0 at the end of this month. I can tell you that. I promise you that right now. Anyway, that's besides the point. But I told her that. I said, no. They didn't quit because of where you were going. They just weren't ready, and they've lost sight of what they actually want. So for you, if you want to do this business, you guys, you have to know what you're freaking fighting for. Every invite you don't send out is a week away from your big dream. It's like, every time you don't put yourself out there, or my biggest thing is like, yeah, I'm working my business, I'm doing my tracker. And honestly, I'm like, no, you're not. You're not if you're not hitting Success Club. Like, I know this is real raw, like, ooh, like a punch to the gut a little bit, truthfully, because I'm telling you, I'm at 0 right now. And I can tell you how much hard work I've been putting in this month, and I'm still at 0. Like, I'm not kidding. I've sent out so many freaking canned responses. I've asked like, I don't even want to get into it, but I know what I'm doing, and I'm still at 0. And I'm like, I don't know if everyone's doing what I'm doing right now, because literally I'm working really, really hard. And I think most people would quit, but my vision is way too big to do that. So if you don't know what you're chasing, like, you don't know what your big vision is, you're going to get sidetracked. You're going to get complacent. You're going to get okay with not hitting goals. Like, you're going to be okay with not putting time into the business. Like, you're going to be okay with missing a post. You're going to be okay with being a little bit more negative, right? It is so crazy. Like, there's, in the book I was reading, he's like, there's always other ways to make it happen. It's like, but when we are so pumped full of fear and frozen, we just get like, I'm a failure. Like, this isn't working. And we forget that there's other ways to make this happen. So if you really want to rock this part-time, you have to know what you're going for. And yes, like, you helping people, that is like, no matter what, you guys, in Beachbody, if you're showing up daily, like, you're helping someone. Like, if you're posting on social media, you're going to inspire someone. But I mean, like, truthfully, like, if you don't know what it is that you're fighting for, you're going to be okay with not helping people and just helping yourself. Like, you're going to be more comfortable with getting, like, not getting uncomfortable. Like, you're going to be like settled for like, no, I'm okay that things aren't a little full of pressure right now. I can tell you I feel the pressure right now on myself and it doesn't feel good, but even though it doesn't feel good, I'm like, I got to show up. Like, I got to do this. And I think a lot of times people retreat from that. But I know what I'm fighting for. Do you know what you're fighting for? And yes, I get it, to help people. Like, you're going to do that no matter what in this business. And that's why I love this. I love it. I love it so much because you're always going to help people. But what else is there? Like, I'm not saying you need to leave your job for this because I don't think that that's the point of Beachbody. I think the point of Beachbody is this creates a whole lot of freedoms for you guys. I think that it creates more vacations with your family. I think it creates like you sending, like my brother's getting married in January, and I'm just thinking about like how cool would it be to like send him a huge check? Or how awesome would it be that Eric's parents have been almost married for 40 years, that we surprise them at Christmas time and say we have a whole trip paid for you. Like, I start to think more about other people in this vision of what it could really do for them. Like, wow, it would create a whole lot more experiences. I remember Morgan telling me her big dream with her family was simply just to help them out each month by sending them $500. And she's like, oh my gosh, like if I could just do that, that would be huge. So she's not just fighting for herself. Like, it's really great. Maybe you just really want you guys this guilt-free pedicure each freaking month because you're so tired every month, right? But you have to know on a bigger scale, like what it is that you're fighting for, because when you do rock this part-time, over time, this is going to be so incredible for you. And what's even more incredible is that you can still be working your full-time job with the option of leaving it. Or you still have your full-time job and then something happens. Sarah Freed, we started this business together and I had it on track that I was going to leave my job. And she told me relentlessly, we're success partners, that she would never leave her job. She always said that. And I was like, it's cool. And we ran together. But what ended up happening is management changed at her job. They started letting people go. And so her main source of income, well, awesome that coaching kind of matched that and surpassed it. She wasn't freaking out like everybody else was. She had no intentions of leaving. No, everything was perfect there. Something switched. She had this plan B. I think we think so right now. I loved teaching. Teaching's my favorite. But when things started to go a little bit south, I had this. It was incredible. When your car breaks down, how many of you have ever felt like tight-chested from finances? Do you guys realize that this honestly is a way to not feel that way? It's hard now when you see it right now where you're like, man, Julianne, like I'm getting $0 each week. I get that. Or Julianne, I'm only getting $60 a week. Like, Julianne, I'm only getting this. But you guys have to understand, if you have full-time belief for this part-time thing, it's going to manifest into something so much more. My weekly paychecks were $0, $0, $0, $14, $4.99. Like, it was all like that. Then I got a $258 paycheck one week, and I was like, what the heck just happened? That was freaking awesome. I was someone who always hit Success Club after 3 months in this business. And you're like, but I just can't figure out how to make it work. Well, you just do. You put yourself out there. People are trying to find the perfect way. How do you get someone's email? You just get it. Like, people are waiting around. One of my coaches said today, we were talking on the phone, and she's like, I don't think anyone on my team has even made canned responses, and you have it out there, and that is the golden nugget to getting a solidified deal in this. I said, absolutely. I said, all my newer coaches who are using these canned responses, it's working for them because they took the time to make it. Morgan Schaefer has made all of her own videos already. I get it. Morgan, I bet you were freaking like, this is awkward. Like, this isn't fun. Like, this is weird, but I'm going to do it. It's not perfect, you told me. You said, but the fact that it's not perfect, it doesn't really matter because I'm not chasing perfectionism, but people need to see my face and not yours. And I said, you just hit it right on the head. Yes. Because typically when I made videos, when I first started, it would take me 15 times to get one that I actually liked. But I was willing to record myself 15 times because it mattered to me. It's all in those details. So if you want to rock this whole part-time thing, I don't want to waste time talking about how you can rock this part-time if you don't know why you want to rock this part-time. Are you serious about building a business part-time? I'm serious, you guys. Like, putting yourself out there. What did I say in that thing where it's like, Your biggest sacrifices will make the greatest sense, but you have to be willing to be misunderstood. There may be people in your life that are negative about this. So what? Tell them. Be like, it bothers me you have a problem with this, but this makes me happy and you should be happy I'm doing this because it makes me feel better. It's making a positive impact. I like this community and I'm able to help people. Why aren't you behind this? And if it's a time management thing where you're on your freaking phone all the time, I don't teach that. That's on you, where you are scrolling the news feed. You're not doing this part-time, you guys, if you're on your phone all the time. I'm just saying. You have to create structure and boundaries around your life with social media. You, first of all, scrolling the news feed and wasting time. Have you guys ever been like, what did I just do this last hour? Right? I've been there. I get lost in those puppy videos all the time. Don't send them to me because I'll just watch them over and over and over again. But I was like, man, like, that's my own issue. If I'm on my phone all the time with my family around, like, that's my own thing. If I'm not making my business goals happen, like, that's on me. So if you say you want Success Club, you shouldn't be like you said you wanted it. So what are you willing to do for it? Now I'm going to walk you through a tracker that I really want you to use. It's called the Walk, Jog, Runner, and someone at Leadership shared this. But my biggest point in this whole Zoom is you got to know what you're freaking fighting for. Because you're not going to fight for it if it's not big enough. It doesn't matter enough. This, like, what you're fighting for should make you feel freaking uncomfortable. I was talking to Kim. I feel like I talked to a lot of people today. I was talking to Kim today. I said, are you surprised that you're making Elite happen? That was like my number one question. And she's like, yeah, but not really. Like, I am, but I'm not. And I said, exactly. Because it was such a freaking huge goal that scared you out of your pants. But like now it's coming together because you worked for it. Like that's what happens in this business is like there should be things where you're like, I can't believe I just said that out loud. I cannot believe I just said I wanted to go for that goal. That is so scary. And the thing is you have to work towards it. Does that make sense? And another thing, say you want diamond. Well, what's beyond that? My concern when people hit diamond is I'm like, are you just chasing diamond? Like, what are you chasing in this business? It shouldn't be a rank. You should hit those ranks for sure. But if you don't know what that is meaning, like you're going to stop at diamond and you're going to fold. I had 3 coaches last year, one that hit diamond, 2 that were almost there at coach away, and they're done. They're nowhere to be found because they didn't see beyond that. That's not my fault. I really don't think so, but I could have done a better job of being like, what next? For me, Elite isn't it's not the goal. Liz Colburn told me this today. She said, it's not the goal that's the point of this process. And I was like, Liz, that's phenomenal. It's never really about the goal, she said. And I was like, it's not. It's totally what it does there. And she said, Julianne, I know you're nervous about this, but you still have 5 more weeks. Like, are you going to give up now? Or are you going to get to the end of the month and be like, I tried everything I could to get there? Because she's like, it's not actually if you get there or not, but it's what you choose to do to get there. And I said, dang, whoa. Like, how many of us are like, is it the 21st? Like, are we going to stop here? You still have like a week and a half left. And then when you get to the end of the month, you're going to be so freaking bummed that you let all that time go and you didn't freaking do anything about it, right? It's all a perception. It's all a mindset. But this is the thing. You need to surround yourself with people like this because they remind you of that. Like, I can see all you nodding, and I'm loving the nonverbals. Like, as a teacher in my classroom, I was like, just give me some nonverbals, please, because it's driving me crazy. Like, are you not learning anything from me right now? But we have to elevate each other. We have to believe in each other when it's hard. Like, you got to connect to this community. I am, like, so pumped up. Ashley Pickett, she's like, I'm going to start jumping on those Zooms. I've noticed a difference in her since she's been jumping on these Zooms. Brittany Burmeister, I was like, dude, you signed up as a coach on a Tuesday and you jumped on that Tuesday Zoom that day. I was like, why'd you do that? She's like, because I didn't think that there was an option. Like, it said Tuesday Zoom, Team Zoom, I jumped on. And I said, she hasn't really missed a whole lot since then. I get that life comes up, but she connected to the community right away and saw the success right away for her, but she also learns things and implements them into her business. So part-time coaching, you got to connect to the community. You can't say that you're too busy for this community because the community is the gold nugget in this business. So this walk, jog, run tracker, I can upload it to get in the team page, but say you have like freaking no time. Like, you are like busting tail, you're stressed out. this is what you should be doing each day, is this walker. And this walker's daily behaviors are this. You read your vision, and that's exactly what I talked about. If you don't know what your vision is, like, why would you do this, to be honest? Like, if you don't know what it is, are you trying to pay off all the debt that you have? Are you trying to bless other people in your life? Are you trying to go on a vacation? Are you dreaming about your dream home? Do you want to do like non-guilt things where you're not feel like you're putting a burden on your family? Like, what is your big vision? It has to be beyond helping people, you guys. Like I said, anything you do in this business is going to help people if you show up. Share and invite one person a day. I think this is what everybody misses. In your post, if you are doing one post a day because you are doing this part-time, which 1 to 3, great. I think one solid post, you guys, is enough, to be honest. You should be putting a call to action on all your posts. So at the bottom, you could just be like, what are you waiting for? Or somehow in your post, allowing people to realize that they can either message you, comment below, or interact with you. So has anyone ever been through this? Like, you kind of just like nudge them, do a call to action on, there should be a call to action on one post a day, always. It doesn't have to be like, join my team, message me. Like, it doesn't have to be that. You can get creative with a call to action. 10 minutes of PD before you look at your phone or computer. Whoa, how many of you just scroll Facebook as soon as you wake up? First of all, y'all should be kissing your spouse, kissing your kids, like my case, my dog, and my husband, right? And I feel bad that I just said my dog before Eric. That's not how it goes in this house. I love Eric over Wyatt. Eric's probably like, oh, okay, you really definitely love Wyatt a lot. But you should be doing 10 minutes of PD. I'm trying to get a lot better at this, like getting my mind right. Commit to Shakeology, pressing play every day, and dialing in on your nutrition plan. I feel like with this, Shakeology is never an issue. Pressing play is never really an issue unless I'm really tired. Nutrition is my fault on these 3 things. So what does that look like for you? Daily gratitude. Recognize and thank someone every day for something. I love that. I love that so much. Post something of value on your social media once a day. Once a day, you guys. Add value to the world. Entertain, educate, and inspire. This is huge. This is what you call the big idea. Who is it that you want to help? For me, I was getting really generic in the last few weeks. I was saying busy people. But you want to know something? Those really, really busy people are like, Julianne, you're a joke. If I go, hey, teachers, it's Friday, you made it, and I start talking to that busy teacher, the one busy person that was like me, guess who connected to a lot more people when I got super specific instead of generic? Hey, overwhelmed mom that just feels like you're failing the world and your kids are ruined, right? Like, if that's how you're feeling as a mom, you need to be talking to the mom that's feeling that way too, right? Your big idea is, who do you want to help? You guys, I want to help the overworked, burnt out teacher that's a couch dweller. Like, I don't want the energetic, happy, like, I'm going to go conquer the world teacher. The kind of teacher I want to work with is the one that literally all she looks forward to is Netflix. Like, she loves binge watching TV. She loves the couch. Like, mine is the couch dweller. Like, that is her idea of a good Friday night, right? So I need to talk to her. So who is it that you're trying to help? You need to get really narrow. That doesn't mean other people won't come to you. Morgan Brill, she's a nurse educator, but she's not a teacher, right? In a school with little children. She still came to me. So you being super narrow and specific isn't going to turn people away, but you're going to get so in the heads of the people you want to help. So who is it that you want to help? And then what you should do is you should create a list of posting ideas for them. So for me, I want to help the women who are exhausted and hitting cruise control in life. They are overworked and underpaid, and they are addicted to Netflix and the couch. I want to help women grow personally, professionally, and financially. So posting topics. They're busy, they're overworked, they're exhausted, they're a couch dweller, they're underpaid, they're teachers, they're stuck in life, they're escaping somehow. My escape was always TV. They're married to their work. They need an outlet. This outlet is coaching. They need something more than their work, if that makes sense. Like the reason that a person's going to join me is because of the community of this team, not the financial reasons yet. They're going to join because of the community, and that's why I joined. Does that make sense? Teachers need more income. They need more income during summer because otherwise they have to pick up an extra job sometimes. So I want to teach them that they can do this side hustle and do it from home. Self-care over self-sabotage. That's the person I need to help. I can do like a Dear Teacher post, right? And then what are some challenge group ideas for this big idea? So when it says contribute to challenge group daily, is your challenge group too generic? What about this? What if I did a challenge group on the big snooze? Not people who are just hitting snooze on their phone, because my teacher friend is hitting snooze 5 times. My teacher friend is running out the door, and that's why she's addicted to Starbucks. That is my avatar. The reason she gets Starbucks and Jimmy John's, she gets Jimmy John's for lunch, is because she didn't have time, because she was so exhausted that she like flew out the door and didn't pack her lunch, obviously, right? What if I did an energized and present group for that person who just is lacking energy and lacking presence? What if I did the Busy Woman Boot Camp, the Press Play over Netflix Boot Camp, the Purpose Driven Day, Ditch the Couch and Pounds Boot Camp? I love that one. So what kind of boot camp that you can have that contributes to your big idea of the person you specifically want to help, right? And then 3 to 5 reasons why someone would want to join you. Wouldn't that be cool to put that in a canned response? Like, you need to join me because you want to gain a sense of purpose outside of work. Because you feel like all you are is a teacher and nothing else, and that's driving you crazy. Because you're sitting on your desk each and every single night going, is this all that I am? That was me. That's what I did. You also need to join me because instead of escaping, you'll find joy in being present and awake. Like you'll actually look forward to other things than watching TV in the couch. Like you actually are going to be excited about moving around. You need to join me because you'll have less stress and more confidence, and you'll have more purpose to life than your job. And this is going to be your plan B for finances. So for your challenge groups, maybe they're sucking because they're so flipping generic. Like you need to contribute to your big idea, right? Your big idea is that specific person you want to help. And your big idea contributes to your social media and your challenge group. You should be talking to them like that. Listen to the National Wake Up Call every single Monday. I always listen to the replay. So I hate listening to all those announcements unless one of our teammates is on them. So I like fast forwarding through them until the content happens. That's just me. So that's why I do the podcast. Post monthly goals. A monthly goal doesn't have to just be Success Club, but you guys, Success Club and Going Emerald is the foundation to starting your business. And then it's going to go to 500 PV. What's 500 PV? That's personal volume. That has nothing to do with anyone underneath you. Your PV matters. Your PV is your Shakeology order, and you're helping 4 other people. 4 other people on Home Direct. 500 PV should be a minimum what you're chasing in your business. Anytime anyone is at 500 PV, my eyes are on you. Because I'm like, they are going to build a solid business. So again, 500 PV is about 5.5 people on Home Direct, including yourself. So say I wanted to do 500 divided by 52, that would be about 10 people on the refresh that got the refresh. Does that make sense? So you just take 500 and divide it by the amount of PV something is. And then you'll know how many people. So maybe it's like 2 refreshes, which is 104 PV, plus 90 is 194 PV. So you can kind of see, but you should be aiming for 500 PV. So when we do that weekly board tomorrow, you'll see like people who are in 2,000, 1,000, whatever. 500 is such a good goal to go for, and that's going to create stability in your business, if that makes sense. I'm really passionate about the PV, obviously. You understand the power of community recognition and the compound effect. All of you guys who are on this freaking Zoom right now, that is exactly where you should be. I get it. I love that you're sacrificing the time to be here. I never missed Zooms when I became a coach. It was way too important to me to be connected to a community of driven people who just wanted to make a flipping difference in the world and still hang out and grow in so many ways. Plus, on these Zooms, I would get such good ideas that pertain to me, and then I could implement them. And then you're getting Success Club each and every single month. If that scares you, good. If going live scares you, good. That is what we're meant for. We are meant to feel a little nervous in life, you guys. Otherwise, we're hitting cruise control. And own your nervousness. Own that you're scared to hit Success Club because you're afraid of failure, because you haven't done it before. Own that. But that isn't going to get you to Success Club living in that fear and paralyzation, right? Like, you just got to do it anyway. I am so scared about two-time elite, you guys. And many times I've just been like, just don't work, Julianne. And that's the opposite way of me hitting that goal. It is so crazy how we go in the fight or flight and we will just do the opposite of what will actually get us there, right? It's a mentality. Take time to write in your banner monthly, weekly goals. Capture all your to-dos. Maybe your weekly goal is to simply work out 5 times that week. Maybe your goal is to jump on, I don't know, do something, right? Like maybe to unplug for an hour. You have to always visualize your goals and your vision. And then PD I'm studying this week. Skills I'm studying this week. That's really cool. Your skill could be like Instagram stories, or your skill could be canned responses. But the cool thing, do you see how it says this week? You don't have to be learning a new skill every single day. Like, you should just be like, you know what? I'm going to make 5 canned responses this week, and I'm just going to learn to master that, if that makes sense. And then your victories and defeats, and then ahas from personal development. And this week, I'm grateful for. Don't you love this little fun little tracker? Like, it is so good for the part-time. And then this is what you can do each week to track your success, if that makes sense. So pull your top 10 most important behaviors and actions from your daily behaviors. List the ones that translate to your weekly, monthly, and year goals. So maybe your behavior and action is, I messaged 10 people who liked my post, and I said, hey, Terry, thanks so much for showing love on my post. I really appreciate the love and the support. It's given me so much confidence to keep sharing my story. I don't know if you saw, but I have a boot camp coming up focusing on fitness, nutrition, and confidence. I would love to give you more information. Let me know if you'd want to hear more about it. Then they're going to be like, yeah. And you're like, great, what's your email? I'll send you more information, right? So there's that. Then the jogger, all that it's doing is it's adding a little bit more to it. So you're using a tracking system. Sunday evening weekend review. So you're just seeing how your week went. Practicing the 4 vital behaviors. Your PD goes up a little bit more. But the cool thing is if you're like, oh, I have more time today, you can add a different tracker. Does that make sense? Then this runner tracker. This is what I do. This is what I do in my day. I feel like even when I did this part-time, this is what I was doing. Maybe not everything on it. And you guys, this isn't about perfectionism. This isn't about going 110 all the time. Does that make sense? This is not me 24/7. So you guys can definitely go through this and see it, but a power hour is in there. I'm not always doing a free monthly group. So you can just kind of see, but if you're doing this, this is enough. This is so enough. And I just want you guys to have grace in your journey as you're doing this. I love that you guys are blowing up this chat. I love that you're on this Zoom. Does anyone have any questions? You can put that in the chat. Sarah, do you want to add anything? Morgan, do you want to add anything? I would love to hear from you ladies because you guys have built very successful businesses. And I would definitely love to hear your insight and input on doing this part-time. I would really love to hear. Canva is amazing. It is so good. It is so good. Kim, you're on here. I would love to hear from you about doing this part-time. I love the Power Pockets. That's totally Morgan Brill. Power Pockets. Would you ladies like to share anything? Yay, Morgan.
I can talk about Power Pockets a little bit. So I don't use a daily tracker every day, but it's because when I started as a coach 2 years ago, I did use a tracker every day, and now it's just a habit, right? So the things you do every day just kind of repeat themselves. And the trackers are more to train you what to do every day and like teach your mind. And then you get really good at compartmentalizing, okay, now I can do that task with that task or that task with that task. And you can work throughout your day versus working through a whole tracker at one chunk of time. Because those of you that rock the part-time business, you're unable to do that. I used to get a little overwhelmed by the trackers because I would feel like I'd need to sit down with undivided attention and do that at that moment. And that's because I struggled with perfectionism and I was trying to learn the business. And there are a lot of different avenues when you're first getting started that try to grab your attention and you want to educate yourself on this and educate yourself on this and educate yourself on that. Really focus on that tracker as a checklist. You get 24 hours of your day to go through that, right? So what does your morning look like? Where can you squeeze 15 minutes of time to get maybe a quarter of that tracker done? Half of your tracker is your vital behaviors, right? Shake, workout, get that done first thing in the morning. That's part of your Power Pocket. And then you can be proud of yourself for getting a couple things checked off without even trying, right? Your lunch break. I get 30 minutes. 15 of it is eating, 15 of it is working on my business. And that's usually the time that I get in my newsfeed because all the people that have posted from the night before or the morning, I can see that. And I go through and like, love, comment, build my affinity that way. And then in the evenings is when most people are on Facebook. So that's when I like to do my messaging because that's when they're the most responsive. So your times of day you really want to do your Power Pockets, especially if you're interacting, are before 7 a.m., that lunch hour between like 11 and 1, and then again after 7 p.m. And that's when you're going to get the most traction. So that's when I do my Power Pockets. And remember, the tracker is a checklist, and you might not get every single box done every day, and that's okay. Get over the boxes.
That's so true, though. I remember sharing like my tracker to some coaches, and I was like, guys, like this is what mine looked like today, and they were like, oh, because it wasn't all the way filled out. I always post on social media, hands down, non-negotiable, like that's what's gonna happen. But maybe I didn't add to my network that day. Anytime I'm feeling stuck in my business, I'm like, I need to add to my network right now. But there's certain non-negotiables I do every single day. I know the same thing is for Morgan. So like posting on social media, absolutely. Like you guys, you lose credibility when you're not consistent. Hands down, 100%. Like I have had so many people be like, I unfollowed you. And then the next day I was like, I wonder what Julianne's up to. And then they would come back. Like there were like 3 coaches who were like, I defriended you and unfollowed you. And then I was like, what is she up to? And they're like, and then that's when I knew I had to join you. I'm not here to please everybody, but I'm here to show up for the person who needs me, if that makes sense. Morgan, you're brilliant. Thank you. Sarah, Kim, anything?
I would say that as busy mom, when I get my time in is those little chunks. And like, I would totally agree with Morgan. I love how you said that, how like the tracker is just like how it trains you and now you just do the things. Like I don't fill a tracker out hardly ever anymore either. When I feel like I'm stuck, I get back to my tracker because I'm obviously missing something that I need. But like, yeah, like it's those 10 minutes when you're waiting at dance class. It's the 5 minutes you're waiting to go drop off. It's, taking 10 selfies in random places so you have them stored on your phone to use later. It's, doing like the little things that are going to help you get to the end result in the end. Like today I went to the bathroom at a training I was at and I love the lighting. So I took like 5 different selfies in different ways. And I'm like, I'm going to use them like throughout the rest of the month. And I like the dress I was wearing, but it's just a matter of like, being smart about what you're doing. And when I know that I need to post every day on social media, I use on this day because I've been consistent over time. I've got something that's going to show up every single day in my memories or in my on this day. And then obviously my journey has changed along the way, so I'm going to change what's there, because my life is different. But I can also use that as kind of a before and after sometimes too, of like things that have happened in my life. So be thinking about that for some transformation stories as well. But yeah, it's just finding the little pieces of time along the way and then staying committed and going for it.
So freaking awesome. Sarah, do you have anything?
I was just typing things next to, because I'm in a room with my entire family, like a small room. Anyways, but I was just saying, like, if you look at people who comment or like your social media, then you're not just randomly like, who do I reach out to? Because I think that's one of the biggest questions I get from coaches is they're like, yeah, I know I need to fill out the BAT, but like, who exactly do I talk to? And I'm like, so go look and see who's liking and commenting. And that's why you want to get your affinity up with Facebook. So like you were talking about how it's awesome that we're all going and commenting on each other's Transformation Tuesdays. That means more people are going to see it and you're going to get more likes on that. And then boom, now you have a ton of people to reach out to. Then it's not random, because I think that feels gross, randomly messaging people and you have no idea if they're seeing any of your social media. So that's the biggest thing, but you have to be consistent, because if you're not showing up for yourself, people are like, well, she's not going to show up for me. She doesn't even show up for herself. So when you are consistent and then you go away, that's the worst thing you can do. Like, I have an injury and no, I can't be like doing 21 Fix Extreme. Like, I can't do that right now. But the worst thing I could do is just back off and be like, and just disappear. Because then people are like, okay, she's shut down for business. She's not doing anything. So instead, it's like, how can you still talk about other things? How can I like show my rehab? Like, what else can I do? It doesn't have to be like an all or nothing kind of thing.
Perfect. So something with trackers is I print a lot off at once. Eric did when he was finishing up teaching. He just like printed off like 300 trackers and then like was like, peace out, I'm out of here. Or you can just get it laminated. And you can just use dry erase marker on it, or you can use an online version. For those of you guys who are getting the same comments and same likes on your posts, I really invite you to think about how more in a different way you can share your story. Can you go live? Are you connecting to a specific audience? Like maybe you're too generic and it's all the same people. Are you being social on social media? Anytime I have all of the same people liking and commenting, it's because I'm not going out and commenting and liking on people's posts. So what I do is, I can even show you here, is if I were to go to my Facebook, and this is vital, especially with how the algorithm is working, it's really important that you spend 10 minutes before your post that you would, so if I go to friends list right here, I create a friends list. So if I went to November 2017, this is the newsfeed I would follow. And then what I could do is I could like, and I'm not really reading these right now, but I could just do all this kind of stuff and then interact with people, if that makes sense, on my list. But you need to make sure that you are connecting with new people. So all of your people that are being added to your network, I don't message them. Some people could. You could be like, hey, thanks so much for accepting my friend request, like blah, blah, blah. You could totally do that. Not my vibe, but what I'll do is I'll go like their pictures and comment on there. And then again, your post, are you being specific? Are you sharing, like Morgan, you had a freaking bomb post today about your marriage where I was like, yep, I did that to Eric when we were in Greece. I got mad at him and walked away, didn't have a phone, didn't know where I was. I was in a foreign country and it felt so bad, but it was because I was so mad at him and I walked away, but I could like relate to you in a second. It was so cool. I was like, oh, someone else has done that? Okay, good. I'm not crazy. I'm not a jerk, right? So when you start posting like that, that's huge. Like something that I love to do is I love to post about specific things in my life. I really am a huge advocate of talking about your miscarriage. And so I've been able to connect with so many people because it's such a vulnerable topic. A really great book for that is by Brene Brown, Help Me. What is it called? It's about revealing your gremlins. You guys don't have to air your dirty laundry, but there's a way of sharing it that doesn't have to be Not Rising Strong is, it's by Brene Brown. I can't remember what it is, but it's really, oh gosh, it's downstairs. That's okay. But it's specifically on getting vulnerable. And so what does that look like in your life? Liz Colborn had a freaking vulnerable post today, but like, you know, what's crazy is when she worked at a school, she got in trouble from her principal that said you shouldn't post stuff like that because it's irresponsible or something like that. And she's like, it's my story. Like, it kind of shows you the elevation and power of being able to own your truth in this business, you guys, because no one's going to tell you not to share your story. Like, in fact, we encourage it, but so many times outside of Beachbody, people like condone it or they're judgmental, and you're like, this happened to me. And like, you're telling me I can't share this. That's why I love this business so much, is because you get to be you and no one can tell you not to. And there is so much freedom. I think that's the greatest freedom in this business, is that you get to rock you. Like, you get to own who you are. You don't have to be broken anymore. Like, you get to live in your truth and no one can tell you not to. Yeah, you might have to put some privacy settings on and all that kind of stuff, but like, you get to build a business being 100% authentic. And if you're having a hard time being authentic, maybe that's why you're not reaching out to a new audience. But be social with people, comment and like their stuff. But really be like, okay, am I kind of just brushing the surface of like, yeah, I got my workout done, but am I talking about like my insecurities when I look in the mirror? Do you guys, like, if you're looking in a mirror when you're working out, do you guys like ever look at your stomach and what it looks like in your shirt? Like, kind of getting in the heads of people. When you're in a dressing room, do you automatically feel defeated? Like, do you hate the lighting? Are you frustrated? Do you hate trying on clothes because that's the way it makes you feel? Do you get, I don't know, like, you can kind of go beneath the surface. Do you all feel more prepared and more excited about doing this part-time? Like, own it. Be like, I'm building a freaking bomb business on, is bomb a good thing? I'm trying to use it as a good thing. I've used this word like 3 times already. Like, you're with me, Turner? Okay, sweet. I feel like I'm losing relevancy not being a teacher anymore. Anyway, I'm still a teacher, but not in the classroom. I was hip when I was in the classroom, guys. Like, they kept me up to date on things. Now I'm out of date on things, but it's all right. But just the biggest thing is, if you're feeling frustrated in your business, all you have to do is be like, where can I improve? Where's the hole in my business right now? Am I not adding to my network? Am I not connecting? Am I being too generic? I'm constantly telling myself, or like being like, have you not been posting about your workout? Maybe people don't know what it is that you're doing. Do people know that you're a coach? When they look at your page, do you have something you're inviting to? You should be inviting to something every day with that call to action, if that makes sense. You all rock. Don't hop off yet. I'm going to hit